This week's Parsha Tazria introduces us to the affliction of tzaraat. Even though tzaraat is usually translated as leprosy, it is not the disease that we know of as leprosy. Leprosy is caused by a bacterial infection. Tzaraat is a physical manifestation of a spiritual ailment. In fact, the Gemara in Arachin 16a lists 7 possible causes for tzaraat. All the possibilities listed in the Gemara are spiritual deficiencies that can cause this physical affliction to occur. Interestingly, though, when looking at the way that the Torah describes tzaraat, we see that the Torah treats tzaraat only as a physical affliction. Why then do we say that tzaraat is more of a spiritual issue if the Torah treats tzaraat as a physical affliction? The Torah starts off the description of tzaraat with the verse, Adam kiev v'or b'saro se'et o sapachat overheret v'haya v'or b'saro l'neged tzaraat. A person, if there will be in the flesh of the skin a swelling or a scab or a bright spot, and becomes on his body the plague of tzaraat. V'huva el Aharon hakohen o el achad mibanav hakohanim. And he will be brought to Aharon the Kohen, or to one of his sons who are Kohanim. This initial verse hints to us tzaraat's true nature. The first clue is through its diagnosis. The Torah doesn't tell us that a person is supposed to go to a doctor, but to a Kohen. In fact, Chazal tell us that only a Kohen can declare the affliction to be tzaraat. Who was the Kohen? He was a spiritual leader, not a physical healer. Since the person needs to go to a Kohen, a spiritual leader, that must mean that tzaraat must be more of a spiritual issue than physical. The second clue is by the Torah's usage in this verse of the term for a person, Adam. Similar to what we learned in Parshat Vayikra, the fact that the Torah uses the term Adam to refer to a person suspected to have tzaraat has certain associations and meanings. First of all, since both male and female are called Adam in the Torah, both male and female can contract tzaraat. As proof, we later see in the Parsha that the Torah says, V'ish o isha ki yevo naga, meaning either male or female can have tzaraat. Second, since Adam reminds us of Adam Harishon, the first man, that means that both Jews and non-Jews can contract tzaraat. True, most commentators disagree and say that only Jews can get tzaraat. However, in the prophets, we do see a case of a non-Jew who had tzaraat. Naaman, chief of Aram's army, was afflicted with tzaraat and came to the prophet Elisha to be healed. The one difference to note is that the ritual impurity that comes with tzaraat is only applicable for Jews and not for Gentiles. Third, since Adam also reminds us of our lowliness and mortality, it is telling us that this tzaraat is coming to humble the person who is suspected to have it. It was their spiritual arrogance that caused them to fall, and the tzaraat is marking them for all to see. And fourth, as Surah Hamor said, Adam is the most distinguished name for a human being. When looking at the cases that the Torah tells us of someone who is suspected of having tzaraat, the Torah does not tell us about a regular person, but of the greatest, Moshe and Miriam. Naaman too was an extremely important person. This tells us that it's not just anyone who will be punished with tzaraat, but someone important, distinguished, and honored, who should know and be better. All this shows that tzaraat, while a physical disease, is rooted in a spiritual shortcoming. Not everyone is a prophet, but by using tzaraat, God is sending a message and trying to help the person to come back onto the right path. Shabbat Shalom.